Hey, Evitel, guess what? Oh.
Yes, Tally?
Okay, do not admit that you can't tell which one is your wife and mother of your children. Stay cool, act confident, own it. Yes, hello, Evitel. Good to see you. There. That was fine. I'm sure you're going to be fine. I just came to give you the great news about the Oh, I see you already got the news about the Dragonflight pre-purchase already. Okay, good. Catch you later.
Is that it? Aren't you going to do a funny intro?
Yeah, right. Like I've got time for that. There's an entire episode of the Weekly Reset to rewrite.
Knowledge is power.
Hello, Internet. Taliesin here, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset. Taliesin and Evitel's Wondrous Wisdomshow. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, whoa, Tally, I like you, bro. You've got a splendid jacket. But surely you can't make a WoW news show this week? The week that marks 2 months since Dragonflight was announced, by the way, and in which there has been basically no news. Hello everyone, Taliesin from the future here, again. And when I say the future, I obviously mean relative to the Taliesin who was just talking, who is from the past. Older Taliesin, who is also younger than I am. Relative to you, we are both from the past, but I'm the one who's nearer to you in the present. I'm going to call myself future Taliesin if that's okay. Good. We recorded a whole section in this weekly reset about the pre-order and when it might be released, and joked that obviously, because we were talking about it in this episode, it was guaranteed to be released this week as soon as the episode was finished. And if the episode had been finished just a couple of hours earlier, that would have been true. So thank goodness for my slow editing skills, I guess, because ladies and gentlemen, we have a Dragonflight pre-purchase. We have an intended release date for Dragonflight of sometime in 2022. And we have a lot to talk about, which we will right now. Out of nowhere and with basically no fanfare, pre-purchases for the next expansion, Dragonflight, have hit the digital Battle.net store. Physical collector's editions are available from, so far, just the North American store, and with them, a host of new in-game items, depending on what tier you buy, because it's 2022, suckers! And perhaps most importantly, that guaranteed latest release date. First things first though, let's take a look at those digital pre-purchases and the in-game goodies that you get in-game to play with right now. After this short disclaimer, pre-purchases are generally a bit of a scam. Less so when it comes to installments in a long-running game like WoW than a brand new one that you have essentially never played, certainly, but the fact is that when you pre-purchase a game, what you're doing is giving money to a developer for a product they have not finished yet, and there's a pretty compelling argument that every pre-order made is just a little bit less effort that they need to put into making that finished product any good. I would always recommend that in this world of digital downloads and no scarcity, you simply don't pre-purchase video games. And that's easy for me to say, right? Because just like every WoW adjacent creator our size or bigger, we got a couple of free Epic Edition codes from Blizzard yesterday. And if we hadn't, we'd have bought them ourselves as a business expense anyway. But these items aren't going anywhere. There is absolutely no reason not to hold off buying Dragonflight until you've seen enough of Dragonflight to know that you want to buy it, especially as the prices of all versions of the game have increased by $10 each since Shadowlands, with the base edition being $50 USD, for which you will receive Dragonflight, access to Drakks Evokers when pre-patch hits, and for right now, Drakks the Drakonid hatchling. The Heroic Edition adds a level 60 boost, the murkastrasza pet, and the absolute most baller of any of the in-game stuff, the Tangled Dreamweaver Leafy Green Dragon mount, an A-grade 9-carat beauty, which, okay, definitely confirms that Blizz will not be using Dragonflight as an opportunity to give us updated dragon rigs after 18 years, but it's still legit very cool, don't mind if I do. That bundle is $70, by the way, as in brand new AAA game price. But for the low price of just $90 dues, you also get 30 days of game time, the Time Walker's Hearthstone, which is nice. 5 dragon wing back pieces in the colours of the different Dragonflights, which are okay, depending on your race, but only okay, since they do appear to lack any movement physics for when your character runs, which makes them look a little bit stiff in my opinion, and the Diadem of the Spellkeeper Helm transmog, which well, you know if you're going to be able to make that work or not, right? The physical collector's edition is $130 and gets you all of the above, plus some cool pins that appear to show Rathian as the head Black Dragon honcho, even though I'm certain he is not going to end up as Black Dragon honcho by the end of, like, the first zone of Dragonflight. A very useful mouse mat, and the art book, which is obviously the reason anyone actually buys these. I do think it's kind of neat how the in-game items manage to represent the black, red, bronze, emerald, and blue dragonflights through different items, and the mount is a legit banger, fair play. But I have to say, my interest has really been piqued by the blue dragonflight in all of this. That helm has all the same design elements used on the Sapphire Skyblazer store mount, and those same design elements are the central theme of the physical collector's edition box too. It certainly suggests to me that there will be a particularly strong focus on Kalagos and his sexy new model in at least the leveling part of Dragonflight, which I'm absolutely fine with, obviously, because his zone also just so happens to be the Grizzly Hills evoking Tuskar zone too, so yeah, all the focus there, please. For most people though, one of the most intriguing elements of the pre-purchase, one of the reasons we've all been so excited for it to arrive, is because video game pre-purchases have to include an intended latest release date, and on this pre-purchase it says, wow, Dragonflight will be available on or before December 31, 2022. And I mean, I think you missed out some punctuation there, fam, because surely that should read, wow, Dragonflight will be available on or before December 31, 2022? And hang on, what's that noise? Oh no, it's the Hopium blimp, except it's not bursting into flames in a terrible combustible hopium disaster, because 2022 release date is no longer hopium, fam. It is reality. Probably. Okay, look, if Blizz were to delay the release of Dragonflight beyond the promised last day of the year, it wouldn't be without precedent. That's what happened to Warcraft 3 Reforged. But it does seem weird that you would ever commit to a release date at most 6 and a bit months away, unless you were pretty confident you could hit it, right? Like, no one has forced them to choose this release date. No one in the community would have been surprised with a far safer on or before March 31, 2023 disclaimer, would they? And with as little as we've seen of Dragonflight so far, it certainly raises some questions. But we're not going to worry about any of that right now. We're just going to enjoy the fact that Dragonflight appears ahead of our presumed schedule and allow ourselves, seriously, one day of enjoying being a WoW player, basking in the warm glow of an imminent expansion being more imminent than we thought. And that was definitely the prevailing sentiment on the forums, who allowed themselves the day off from speculation and second guessing, and instead was alive with the happy buzz of excitement. And no, it was a shit show, obviously. Damn, this game really is doomed. I pray to everything that is holy and sacred for them to delay this. Please, God, delay it. Let's be honest, this is one hell of a rush job. This is the death of the game. They just don't care anymore. We will get half-baked expansions to the end of time. Yeah, the internet is convinced that there is literally no way this game is going to be ready for this year, which, cards on the table, full honesty, is kind of how I feel too, even though I feel stupid thinking that, because the fact is, we haven't seen any of this game yet, so how on earth do we know? And I remember how surprised everyone was with how complete the 9.2 PTR was when that hit. I remember Ian Hazakostas saying this in the Twitter roundtable 2 months ago.
There's been a little bit of confusion as to what you actually said in terms of how far along this expansion is. Did you say that it's quite far along, or did you say that it's got quite far to go?
I think it's quite far along. I mean, we have alpha is coming soon. We have signups posted. There's a whole lot to show off and experience all around there. So soon TM, but
Sounds
also
good
soon
to me.
without the TM.
It is entirely possible that when this alpha hits in, I'm going to say, second or third week of July, although really, it could be at any point from now, possibly even a couple of hours after this video being written and recorded and edited for the third time now goes live. Wouldn't that be hilarious? That again, it might be far more advanced. That's possible, but it would be a surprise, because whatever happens, if that 2022 release date is going to be met, then Dragonflight's alpha and beta period is going to have to be the shortest in WoW expansion history after BFA, an expansion that itself launched with a clearly broken central power progression system. Slight detour, people say Shadowlands was a rushed expansion as well, which I don't agree with. I mean, for one, it was delayed, but also when people say that, it's usually because they didn't like how Covenants worked at launch, which is perfectly fair enough. But the thing is, that wasn't due to any rushing. Covenants worked exactly how Blizz wanted them to when the game released, which might be even worse in your opinion, but I don't think it counts as rushing. And you might also say, well, yes, but Taliesin, there is no crazy borrowed power systems in Dragonflight, so much less testing that needs to be done. A common point of view, which I have to say, I'm afraid, I disagree with. Those talent trees are huge and complex and need to be ready for the pre-patch, let alone the actual expansion launch, and there's 51 of them, and some of them will not be good. And let's be honest, those not good ones will be shamans and monks and mages. Professions updates too, if they are as detailed and in-depth as is being made out, are a huge undertaking that will need lots of player feedback, and which frankly aren't going to get anywhere near the amount of feedback as anything else, no matter how many players are on that alpha. Because let's be honest, you've got alpha or beta access, most of you aren't spending your time QAing and theory crafting the new profession systems, are you? Let's be real here. There's dragons to ride. There's mage talent trees to get upset about. So I can see why people are wary of the earlier than expected release date for sure. And I share that concern. To the extent, if I had to bet, I'd probably put money on it right now being delayed until 2023 at some point. But again, that is based on me having seen nothing of the game and therefore no real evidence at all. Just my gut feeling, which isn't exactly empirical. What if they really are surprisingly advanced on this game behind the scenes? What if they are planning on keeping the good work from the 9.2 PTR and intend to not put much of the questing out to test anyway, and that's why they're happy with having a tighter testing period? What if that skipped patch in Shadowlands that they say isn't a skip patch, but which definitely was a skip patch, was as much to do with making sure Dragonflight was on course as anything else? Oh, look, the Hopium blimps are back, everyone! Hi, guys! Don't look so worried, internet. The Hopium blimps are perfectly safe. What could possibly go wrong? Basically, there is going to come a point in, I'm going to say the second week of July, when this alpha goes live, and people are either going to be very excited about how much is already there, or very worried about how much isn't, and how short the suggested testing cycle is. We are in Schrodinger's expansion territory right now, but whatever happens, Dragonflight feels real and tangible for the first time since its announcement, and despite justified worries about a rushed expansion, it's also incredibly exciting to think that we could be playing it before Christmas. I don't think there's many of us who expected that at the beginning of the week. Evitel,
Hi.
you're back again. This is like the second time in a month.
I know.
This is incredible. Wow. For the sofa bit, how
I
exciting.
love the sofa bit. You know I love the sofa bit.
I think it's time to come clean about the whole sofa bit, Evitel.
Excuse me.
There's no way we can even pretend from this shot and the way this camera's angled that we are indeed on the sofa. We're not. There's no pretending.
No.
There's just no denying it. I'm very sorry. We're not in fact on the sofa. We're in fact sitting in front of our computer,
Yep.
in front of the sofa, putting together this episode of the Weekly Reset for the third time.
Guys, oh my goodness.
It was written, and then it was rewritten, and then it was recorded, and then it was edited. Like, honestly, all I had to do was put like the graphics and stuff on, and it was all ready. And I was, you know, putting the finishing touches to it. It was going to be a late one, but I was like, okay. And I was watching Towley on Twitch, like very quietly, sort of on one side, and suddenly it became clear that the pre-orders, the pre-purchases had happened.
Yep.
When did you notice it?
I noticed it when people started tweeting at us, which I then WhatsApped you about.
Tally, stop the edit! Stop the edit!
Well, no, I Tally, as ever, we are all grateful for your sacrifice, because everyone knows when you put the graft in, when you put the hard work in, that's when Blizz upends everything we've done and makes it useless.
There was genuinely an entire segment in this episode of the Weekly Reset, back when there was not much news to be reporting on, that was like, hey, what's going on with the pre-order? Well, now we've talked about it. It'll probably come out today, just after this episode. And it, like, that's what always happens,
Yeah.
right? We put it in the episode, and then, like, a couple of hours after the episode is released, Blizz do something which completely undermines something we're talking about in the episode.
Every time.
Or it's just, no, they've upped their game. Now they're doing it while we're editing the episode.
And it's incredible, you know, being accused of being a shill when clearly they hate us
Yeah, clearly.
so much.
I think they just want our lives to be terrible. They want us to spend no time with our children. They're like, Oh, it's horrible. So,
On the plus side, I'm really excited.
well, and then also, and you know, I mentioned this in the recorded bit, right? Because, you know, full disclosure, already Blizzard have sent us codes for the Epic Edition of Dragonflight, of the pre-order, so we can, so, you know, like other creators, so we can show you how nice the things are, and you can go, ooh, that looks nice, I really want to buy it. Wow, Teen, you like that stuff? Oh, Bellylad's got it, everyone's got it, let's do it.
They got the things.
Yeah, so, but, as usually happens, I don't check the emails, especially when I can see a pre-purchase has gone up. So as soon as Towley was like, oh, hey, it's the pre-purchase, I was like, I'm on it! Whoa! And I was like, I didn't ask Evitel anything.
I know, and I'm like furiously texting. I'm like, Tally,
I closed Premiere. I was like, gonna get myself to the store. Here we go. You know, and at first it was just so I could see the stuff that was there, so I could change my script.
Window shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I gotta buy it, right? So I can get the graphics in. And so I bought myself a digital Epic Edition, and I bought myself a physical collector's edition from the US store, which currently is the only place you can get it. So $50. Postage and packaging as well.
Is that true?
It's an expensive purchase on the old company account.
Well.
Don't worry, it's tax deductible.
Yay! Oh my goodness. But yeah, so well.
So we've
got it. We got it now.
And I had to put in the new address of our new house.
Oh.
Which we still haven't 100% bought yet.
Oh, this could really end in tears.
It's like, yeah. Someone could gazump us. And even worse than the fact that they get our house, they'll get my collector's edition.
I know, right? Could you imagine? Getting the keys to the house and showing up and then seeing this lovely collector's edition waiting for you.
But enough about what an idiot I am. What's your kind of take on the whole thing?
I mean, I was not expecting that. I think I'm on record saying I thought it was going to be early 2023.
For a release date.
For a release date. It is not. It is, well, on or before the end of this year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe like could even be earlier. It's probably going to be earlier.
I feel like that applies to the actual expansion itself, right?
Yeah.
Because it's saying, you know, with the expansion you get these things, you know, the Dragon Isles and new professions and stuff like that. All stuff which is only going to come with the actual main release, and that's what they're talking about being this year, which means that the pre-patch has to be even earlier than that. So we're talking, you know, something has to be early December at the very latest, right?
Yeah.
Will be if they don't put it back,
or it'll be November to coincide with a BlizzCon.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. October or November is when you would expect an expansion to release.
Right.
So if they release it in November or even December, you can pretty much say that they're on schedule for their release cadence, right? You know, like an expansion every 2 years, and a little bit fraught and a little bit late, but essentially back on schedule then, which is something to be proud of in the team, really, if they've made that time up with all the time that they lost because of, you know, world events and things like that. That's kind of cool.
I am super duper excited.
Are you supercalifragilisticexpialidocious excited?
I'm sorry. I spend my day talking to children, so I'm like...
And me.
Yeah, children, like I say. And I'm uber excited about all this stuff happening, and it's happening really fast. And obviously, you know, we've heard the people have some anxieties about it too. It's like, oh, is it too soon? It's too fast. There hasn't been any like alpha testing. What's going on? But I feel like that could be a good thing because it means that there aren't any like excessive tests and systems that need to happen. Like,
I talk about that in the beginning bit, and
well, I haven't heard that bit yet. Sorry.
But yeah, I remember when Dragonflight was revealed, thinking I feel like there's like one box feature missing.
Yeah.
From Dragonflight,
right.
And maybe that will prove to be in its favor, you know.
Okay.
In terms of this quicker turnaround, supposedly, and shorter testing period and what have you. And it will be the shortest testing period of any expansion ever.
Yeah.
After BFA, which
maybe it means
didn't launch in a great state.
No, maybe it means they're super confident.
I completely agree. It's very easy to feel, and I think it's very reasonable to be concerned as well.
Oh, I get it. That was my initial reaction too.
Totally.
I was like, whoa, wait.
But at the same time, I feel like until we see any different until an alpha comes out and it's like there's nothing here. How are they possibly going to do this? I see no reason not to kind of trust that, because they've sat on that. They sat on that release of the pre-purchases for a while now. You know, it's been in the data, it got taken away, it got put back in, and clearly, and I remember saying this on stream when the pre-purchase clearly didn't come with the announcement of the expansion like we expected. I was like, no, this actually means that it might release this year, because clearly they're holding off the release of the pre-patch, of the pre-purchase, until they're really sure that they can say it's going to be this year.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And far from it being like this is actually a sign that it will definitely be releasing 2023, I think the reason that they didn't release pre-purchase earlier is precisely because they were waiting until they were confident that they could say it was going to be this year.
Yeah.
That's complete speculation.
Because is that set in stone? Like, is there any chance that it could be delayed or late?
That's what they did with Warcraft 3 Reforged. And what happens is, if they then delay, it means everyone's entitled to a
refund.
But everyone's entitled to a refund anyway. And the thing is, you know, I didn't refund Warcraft 3 Reforged because I really liked my meat wagon that I got. I was like, yeah.
You can't take my meat wagon away.
I was like, I could refund this, but I really like my meat wagon.
I know how much you like meat
The
wagon.
meat wagon is legit. It's fun for all the family.
Tally loves a good meat wagon.
That mount is one of my favourite mounts in the game, okay? And I love it. And yeah, likewise, if they were to delay it, who's really going to refund? No one really. Everyone who's pre-purchased this game knows that they want to play Dragonflight, right?
Yeah.
And that's not, in fact, so many people would probably be glad if they pushed it back until March or whatever, you know, especially if it's looking unfinished on the alpha or whatever, that's actually less reason for them to refund it.
Right, you've got a point there. It's not like this is a brand new game coming out that someone could be like, oh wait, it's late, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah.
People who have bought it are definitely going to play it at some point.
So I don't think it would really cost Blizzard anything to delay it.
Right.
So I there's a part of me which is taking the whole 2022 thing as a with a pinch of salt. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. If you had to bet now, 2022 or 2023.
I'm holding out for 2022.
Yeah, I see no reason not to.
And even at the latest, like a nice Christmas surprise.
I know how you love a Christmas surprise. This is basically what being parents is like, making innuendos at each other forever. That's what we were like before.
As far as it gets.
That's how we got in this mess.
I know. Tell me about it.
Have you had a proper look at all of the nice toys you get and stuff with the?
You want to talk about toys?
With the pre-purchase. Something I've never asked you. Sorry.
Oh.
Well, what's your Dragonflight? What's your favorite Dragonflight?
I don't know.
Because like we got to decide how to divvy up these pin badges from the collector's edition.
Only one collector's edition.
So far, yeah. Because can I just remind you, I paid $180 for it with shipping.
I mean, that's pretty steep. I'm gonna have to say, I don't know, Blue Dragonflight.
Ooh, Caligos. Yeah. You're a Caligos girl.
I think so.
The Blue Dragon stuff was really good in Legion as well.
Yeah.
In Azuna.
Oh,
really good stuff.
Love
I'm hoping we see
love
some characters
Azuna.
pop up from there.
Yeah, so I think I have some like nice memories from that. Also, it's just a good color. It looks great. Love it.
Although I am still devastated that Caligos has a new model.
Are you really?
So upset. I mean, the model looks great, don't get me wrong, it's really good. But it was my genuine hope that they would give all of the new dragons new models except Caligos for his human form, and it would become canon that old model is just what he looks like.
With just like 1, 2, 3 like planes.
He's just not very good at taking humanoid form. He was bottom of the class, and that's what he looks like, right? Yeah. It's because it's a visage that he's taken on, right? So why wouldn't it be that he's actually quite bad at it?
It's basically just a cardboard cutout of a person.
Yeah, he took on the form, but before he took on the form, the only human he'd ever seen was through playing GoldenEye 64. You know, exactly. That's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be canon, and so whoever worked on this model, well done, I guess. But whoever decided that he gets a new model, you ruined the lore. You ruined my headcanon. But I guess I'll forgive you.
You've already reserved a dragon name as well.
Yeah, Taliesin.
Sorry, a Drakthir name.
No, Drakks, yeah, Evoker name. Right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, my Evoker name is going to be Taliesin.
Yeah.
Like the big dragon from the Earthsea trilogy.
Nice.
Yeah, what about you?
I don't know, but I am also going Evoker.
You're going Evoker? You're maining Evoker?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna put the Hunter aside for now and just do the Evoker thing.
Yeah, that's a bold claim considering you've never played it before and you have no idea what it feels like. But you like the whole Evoker setup, do you?
I am a dragon person.
Okay. That's true.
I saw someone tweet about this earlier and they're like, wow, this expansion really speaks to 13-year-old me. And I think it was Ashura actually. Like I 100% this expansion speaks to 13-year-old me, and so I have no shame in approaching it as if I am 13 years old and being like, yeah, I'm doing whatever I want. I'm just gonna hang out in this zone, take in the sights, be a dragon person, evoke. That's it. It's like totally regressing.
Whoa, did you just evoke just then?
So.
That was awesome. Do you want to know something that's going to make you feel really bad?
Oh, no.
Our 2-year-old son, Anirin, is closer to the age 13 than you are by some considerable margin.
I don't like that.
Thank you for joining us
Nobody
today
liked that.
for this episode of
Nobody
the Weekly
liked
Reset.
that.
If you like this episode, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real-life money to make all of our work happen. Patrons, thank you. I'm hoping that sometime in the very near future, because we've been waiting on it for about a week now, we'll be able to tell the patrons that we finally bought our house.
Oh my God.
That they and anyone who's ever watched one of our videos paid for. Imagine that, man. Like, imagine being able to buy a house just through memeing on Ian Hazacostas and Law.
I mean,
thank you, Josh Law.
There's a bit more to it than that.
No, that's basically it. Basically just making fun of Ian and Law. Bought us a house, and I really appreciate that. I really like it. It wasn't my top-level WoW play, was it?
It's like on a mortgage application. It's like, what is your source of funds? World of Warcraft. Is that right?
Memes.
God. Who gave us a mortgage?
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Really. Well, I mean, yeah. So we're still waiting on that, but we will let you know as soon as we do. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it, and remember, my name is Gossip Curl.
Aww.
No, my name is Taliesin from me.
And me, Evitel.
And Anirin and Penny, who's been so good in that chair right there as we record this. She is bouncing.
Bouncing.
She's a good girl. Cheerio.